Welcome to the Debacle Podcast, where we explore how Chaz Stevens is using his work to create positive change. In each episode, we'll be talking about his journey to activism, his current projects, and how he is inspiring others to join him.
Is that inspiring, Tom?
I don't know if I'm inspired, but it's definitely a cool groove.
Yeah, that's Jesse from Albuquerque, New Mexico. He does all our stuff for all the voiceovers. Call the 800 number, 1-800-372-4125, ESA Doggy. And you'll hear Jesse. He's a really nice guy. And he's got a really interesting life story. So welcome, everyone. Hi, my name is Chaz Stevens, CEO of ESA Doggy. That is Tom Wright. There you go.
Nice to see you.
Tommy is the corporate HQ lawyer. Also, he's a pretty good lawyer. If you have a traffic ticket,
pretty good. Thanks. Great rave reviews there.
Got a persnickety traffic ticket. Tom can help. So listen, Tommy and I are going to talk about legal stuff today. Tommy's helped me out, our company out for like the last 10 years, saving some people. People come to us with broken ESA letters, broken situations, because they went to somebody and they spent $100 and they got a crappy letter, and then they tried to pass it off with their dog leash.
You get what you pay for.
And now you're talking to Tom. And by the way, Tom's not cheap. But we offer other services we'll talk about in just a second. So good morning, Tom. Happy Taco Tuesday to you.
Oh, that's right. It is Taco Tuesday. She's reminding me my kids are probably going to make me stop later.
Tommy, also, everybody was on Gordon Ramsay's Master Chef thing. Tommy's a pretty good cook. He makes the world's greatest vichyssoise.
Well, thank you very much.
Here's to your vichyssoise, Tom.
Thank you.
So today we're going to talk about bogus letters. And they're out there. According to folks at according to folks at Pet Screening, 60% of reasonable accommodation requests, that's not just ESA letters, but that's the folks trying to make an accommodation for housing, are denied. 60. I know from this that 1 out of 10 complaints, HUD in 2022 took 300,000 complaints, mostly ESA related. Less than 1 or 10 got into the door. Tom, any thoughts about that?
Well, once again, you get what you pay for. When you're going to go and buy $100 baloney letter off the internet and try and pass it off as a real need for an ESA, it's going to come back and bite you in the ass.
When we started this, Tom, and I brought you up to speed on some of this stuff, remember how I said it all begins with the perfect ESA letter? And the perfect ESA letter isn't the document itself. Listen, this is behind the scenes, but I do this for a living, a decade. It's the process. It's the process. How long have you met? What's your relationship like with your therapist? What's their knowledge of your situation? And if you don't develop that, you can't develop the right letter. Otherwise, what these people do, a quick little test, 15 questions, a short questionnaire, maybe a 5-minute conversation that you're paying $150 for, $150 for a 5-minute conversation with a licensed mental health therapist who may or may not be in your state. And voila, here's your letter. And give Tom a call because he's going to have to, unscrew it up.
You see if we can save your ass. I don't know. I can't always do it.
So there are two law firms, Becker Polikoff in Lauderdale, and then the Fox Hill folks. I think they're up in Pennsylvania. They could be in Philadelphia. They're in Pennsylvania. These are top-notch people, top-notch law firms. They are. Ryan Polikoff knows his stuff. Ryan Polikoff knows more than I do, and I know a lot. But Ryan's on the court on all this other stuff. Ryan and his firm represent landlords. In 2016, it was crazy. Landlords would just make up stuff. They would make up their own rules. And then it was really hard to comply because you never knew what the rule du jour was. So Becker Polikoff, the Fox folks on that side. And then on the other side, Tommy Wright and Chaz Stevens and Martine.
Well, we haven't had to go against Becker, but I know what you're saying. I mean, they were one of the firms that was definitely championing the landlords. And I think the problem was that the rules of the game were very gray, and that made it difficult on everybody. And It certainly also didn't help that you had so many companies out there that were basically selling people pieces of paper. It's kind of like, hey, you got a Chihuahua? We're going to slap a tag on it that says it's a Doberman. Well, it's still a Chihuahua. Um, so, as you said, and I agree with you completely, the perfect letter, which, that's I think you've got that as trademark, I believe, but the
Yes,
perfect letter.
correct.
Yeah, the perfect letter actually, it's not the letter itself because the letters, to a certain degree, are somewhat boilerplate. There's a format they have to follow to meet HUD standards. But the question is, what makes it perfect? The underlying process in doing things the right way is what makes it perfect. Otherwise, it's just a piece of paper that doesn't really have any backup to it. There's no foundation. Um, and that's the big difference. You're doing it the right way. People are developing that true relationship with their therapist. This isn't a one and done thing where you talk to some guy in another state for 10 minutes. It says, okay, you're going to get an ESA letter. No, it doesn't work like that. Not everybody qualifies. Not everybody's supposed to qualify. The trick is if you can demonstrate that you have an actual medical need and you see a therapist and you have a relationship, and that usually means seeing them 2, 3 times, maybe more, and they figure out enough about you as an individual, as a patient, to determine that this is the appropriate solution. And you're not just some jerk who's trying to, get Chopper the pit bull into your apartment complex because they don't allow that kind of dog.
Let me interrupt, Tom. So I and a team member of mine, about 2 years ago, we tried to get Chopper the pit bull approved. So there are testers in HUD where you can go and shop around, and HUD encourages this, and that you go and shop around at housing communities and see if they are violative of the Fair Housing Act, and then you can file complaints. There was a guy, remember Patrick? That's what Patrick's company did. I took a note from him, an idea from him, and I went and shopped around. I went and spent a couple grand. I went and shopped around, pretended to be Dirk Diggler, catch on to that.
Boy, that wasn't a giveaway.
Yeah. Dirk Diggler. And I tried to figure out, I tried to see what their process was. Am I doing something wrong? I think it was 25 to 30, closer to 25 than 30. The big players, the names that you recognize if you've been online, to the people that you don't recognize. All of them, except one, I'm not going to name a name, no names here, Tommy, so you don't have to go to defamation court for me.
Okay.
That did it wrong. And when I asked them, I said, how come you don't comply with HUD's guidance, FHEO 2020? And they said, it's just the guidance. We don't have to follow it. It's not the law. Wrong. Let me tell you why. Right in the sense, Tommy, you like this, right in the sense that HUD's Fair Housing Act and the FHEO 2020 doesn't apply to therapists, doesn't apply to me as a vendor. It applies to housing providers. The other side of the coin, therapists, whether they're mine, and lots of them have been with me for 10 years, or you're out shopping around on the internet, they have ethics that they're supposed to
correct. They have professional standards they have to adhere by.
They can't put their patients in jeopardy, and they're supposed to follow industry standards and industry guidance. They're supposed to follow the rules. They're not supposed to pick and choose. They say to us, Chaz, your letters are so expensive. You're spending 2 or 3 hours with us.
No, your letters. No. I tend to disagree. Your letters are not expensive. You get what you pay for. You got to remember the letter is part of it, and it's not a guarantee. What you're doing is you're assisting somebody finding, telehealth, basically. This is, I'm going to help you link up with a therapist, and they are going to make the determination whether this is the appropriate thing for you. If you're a jerk who is trying to figure a way to get your pet python into a place, or in the old days, I want to fly on Delta with my ocelot or something, go somewhere else. I mean, it's not legitimate. But if you have a legitimate need for an emotional support animal, you're not going to find out that answer in 10 minutes with a therapist. They're going to need to figure out what is going on in your life. What are the underlying problems? Do you have PTSD? Do you have anxiety? Do you have agoraphobia? Whatever you have that, the particular animal may help resolve for you, that's what they need to determine. It's not going to happen quickly, and they can't do it the right way quickly. So you either do it the right way or the wrong way. But if you want HUD or potentially the Attorney General to back you up later because landlord X is trying to discriminate against you, if you've done it the right way, they've got your back. You know, if you've cut corners and bought that $100 letter, sorry, Charlie.
Okay, Tom. Let's finish this up with one quick story. And to me, it's the greatest use case. Tommy takes on a client of ours that calls us up, and they're in dire straits. And they go to, I think they were in here in Florida, and they go to they go to their apartment complex, condo complex, and the lawyer who was representing him was a super lawyer. Do you remember that, Tom? The super lawyer.
I do remember this instance. He was board certified and he was listed as super lawyers and all that. You know, this is all stuff. I don't pay a lot of attention to it. It's a little bit of marketing fluff, but you know, board certified is serious stuff. Some of the super lawyers stuff is whatever, but it tends to impress.
Yeah, exactly right. So
it impressed me.
Yeah, exactly right. And I kept on telling Tommy he's wrong. And Tommy's like, well, he's like this. I said, he's wrong. He doesn't know. And eventually, Tom, what happened?
Right. I was wrong. I made the horrible Uma Thurman mistake, you know, when you assume you make an ass out of you and me. Yeah, I assumed that based on the conclusions and arguments that he made that he had done his research, knew what he was talking about. And, you know, I'm like, boy, I got a problem. And you kept telling me, nope, 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 nope. He's wrong. He's wrong. He's wrong. I did a little bit of research, which I probably should have done initially instead of taking, you know, I like to think that I'm very candid and honest with other attorneys and they're going to do the same with me. Not always the case. Yeah, we figured out he was dead wrong, absolutely dead wrong. And, you know, we ended up winning.
And what did it cost them? I don't want to say anything else, but I'm guessing it probably cost them $2,000, $1,000 or $2,000 to engage
on the
a
other
lawyer
side.
No,
easy. Somebody with board certified credentials and super lawyer badges and all that stuff. No, they probably dropped.
No, I'm talking about they came to us. So the clients came to us.
Oh no, yeah, no, it didn't cost. No, it was a few hours worth of work, maybe $1,200-1,500, and I mean, boom, case closed.
Yeah, for $150 letter, right? So, and I think if I remember right, we corrected up their letter because their letter was also kind of fukakta. So the answer is this, folks. We know what we're doing. We know what we're doing. I've been doing this for a long time. If you spend $100, you get what you pay for it. Just in the Tom right.
No. You know what's the best thing? Do you remember the old Meineke ads with the monkeys? This is what I think of. A bad letter is like the chimpanzee with the paper towel tube. When the guy says, hey, we got a crack team working on your transmission, and they would show Bozo the chimp beating on your engine block with a paper towel tube. That's the bad letter. That's the $100 letter right there. You want the chimp fixing your transmission with a paper towel tube, go on the internet, find that $150 letter, spend your money. Gallo von Dios. Hopefully it works for you. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I can't fix it if it doesn't. If they're going to do things the right way and use a service like yours or somebody else who's doing it the right way, who's reputable, who's not cutting corners, you know, so you say, hey, Joe, the landlord's discriminating me. Ooh, now we got your back. Now the Attorney General's going to have your back. You know, you can get the support you need and you can probably get the outcome that you want. So this isn't about don't cheat the system. Seriously, don't cheat the system. Don't cheat yourself. You know, don't buy the cheapest thing you can get. It's dumb.
I think we can end it on that. Anything else you want to say, Tom?
It's Taco Tuesday.
What are you making?
Beef stroganoff.
I made last week Polish tacos.
What do you put, a pierogi in a taco?
No. Emil's Sausage of Deerfield Beach. Know him? You ever been there?
I do. They're fantastic.
Yeah. I got some Polish sausages, and I said, "Hell, you can put them in a taco."
Well, you can put anything in a taco shell. I don't know if it makes it a taco. I mean, you could put a ring ding in a freaking taco shell. I don't know if that becomes a hostess taco, but
There you go.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
have to remember. I'm gonna have to remember that one. Chaz's recipe for Polish tacos featuring Emil sausage,
No,
just
listen,
when
I'm
it's
telling you.
not greasy enough.
So listen, the answer is there's actually a little cottage industry of Polish taco recipes.
If there isn't, you need to write the book. And I'll
Yeah,
tell you what, as a foreword, you can put my recipe for Vichy swap.
excellent. All right, so I'm going to leave us by pushing this green button. I don't know what this does, but we're leaving with this. Maybe we just have to cut this out.
Boom, where's the nuclear explosion?
See you later, Tom.
Bye.